Rojas, I'm George, and I'm from Redlands, California. This video is specifically for Omnitrans. This is for the bus system. Yeah, I don't like. Okay, I know it has nothing to do with my bus being a bad service. There's no real such thing as, bad busing service. I'm just putting a verbal complaint. The reason why I'm not doing Yelp or Google is that if you do that, they usually take it off. Plus, I'm just trying to show you, I'm trying to single certain departments out. I'm not sure if I'm going to do for the community colleges or for police departments and hospitals, hoping to make those videos in the near future. I'm not confident right now to make a video like that, and then I'm afraid if someone that works there ever went online and found it that they may treat me worse or something like that. So right now I'm not going to make a video on those, but it's coming for the near future. Today I feel kind of just not confident. I'm not afraid of the bus because it's not a powerful position. They don't do anything. They just drive. They just sit. And that's it. It's not. So I was afraid a little bit, which is why I haven't made the video earlier. Why I had done YouTube in general is my fear. But I mean, if you think about it really hard, what's there to lose with these, videos anyways? They're not going to kill me. Nobody's going to kill me. The fear was retaliation of just them harassing me further, which actually is a legitimate fear, and that, we've seen what has happened, but they're already doing it. So if you were going to fear something, it should be something we worry to happen. It already is happening, but I guess that could be motivation to not make the video, I guess. Anyways, Omnitrans is a bus station, and it's for the county of San Bernardino. I don't know about the upper desert versus the lower. I know that Redlands is down, never eat shredded wheat. We're on the southeast border of San Bernardino County, on the edge, with, along with Ontario, San Bernardino, and stuff like that, like all those other cities. Yeah, so it's all right next to each other. It's down on the edge, because San Bernardino County is it's the biggest county in the United States, okay? So it's mostly a forest. Literally, most of it is like a mount of forest. It's just trees, most of it. It's not many cities. We're in the city portion, so we're on the very edge, very bottom edge kind of it. Anyway, so that's the busing trend. I think in San Bernardino County, I think they do have different names for the bus, specifically in the high desert area, like Hesperia or Apple Valley and stuff like that. They have is Hesperia San Bernardino County or Riverside County? I forgot. Anyway, so if you go up, I know Apple Valley there's this upper area, and I think their busing system is, like Big Bear and all. They have a different busing system. I think a different name. So that's why I'm trying to that's why I use the word Omnitrans. If it had not been for my gangstalking, I would not be making a video. Anyways, what's there to compliment? All they do is they just drive. So there's really nothing positive or negative to say about their behavior, and they don't do anything extra in life. But for me, it's negative in that these particular bus drivers are very much into the code signals. They do a lot of the shoulder and hand movement stuff. It's weird because I have a very big farting problem. But when I'm on the, depends if what I ate that day. The bus, I'm usually actually more I don't do my constipated moving around look. And because the bus is really noisy, so whatever comes out, you might be able to smell it, but you can't hear it because it's so noisy. So, I'm not usually as fidgety inside the bus, though I can be, because there's some days where I really have that poop stuck up in my cork area and I'm not moving it to the left. Anyway, so I shouldn't be I'm just adding it to the video. Nah, that has nothing to do with it. I mean, they're doing the gesturing. It could be to be mean, or it could be to make fun of my situation. I don't know. But I think the reason they like to do I think it had to do more so with the code, because they said a lot of things that occasionally they would use code words and they did the slander mob. They started exactly when the community was doing the mob campaign. They started exactly at that particular period, and I don't say anything to them. You have to understand this. I never say anything bad to any of the passengers on the bus or to the bus drivers ever in my entire, well, I can't say entire, but for the majority, definitely for until October 2014. That was because they've been doing it a long time, and it was very quick. It was like not even a minute. Like, it was really not a threat. Okay, I said something. That was because they're doing it to me for a long. I've been very mute though. I don't say anything to them, and if they say something to me, I don't know. Now, the reason why this particular bus station, like I said, I just feel they're involved. They also, what's interesting to add here, they were the very beginning. So from like everybody, they were not exactly the first people that did the sign language, body language, gesture, and harassment, code word, insult stuff. They're not the first, but like during that period of when it was starting up with the community, they're kind of like the first organization. Okay, example, with my healthcare, before September 2011, yes, they were destroying my healthcare and that they were like screwing me, but it was on paper, and that like I did not understand when they were doing me wrong. I did not understand what they were doing wrong because I did not know the rules and regulations in tech. Because like, how I learned the rules and regulations is I looked it up on the internet, just read a little bit, Google, you do Wikipedia. What is doctor job? What is nurse job? What is bus driver job? What is the police job? You just read a little article on what they're supposed to do. And then I read that and what a 5150 is and all this other crap. So I just do a little bit like that, and then I figured out they did me wrong. Because I didn't understand time, right? Right, September 2011, I mean, that's when I knew, that was my light bulb. And this bus station here, definitely, I would say a huge organization that was very plain. The hospital stuff, they were not really direct, you know what I mean? It was not really in my face. It was more on paper. They were taking advantage of me, and it's just manipulative, and a little bit towards the early 2011, late 2010, there were a few hospital appointments where they were giving me attitude, but I didn't understand. I didn't really understand because I was a little bit confused what was going on. Then September 2011 came along. Then I knew I was really being taken advantage of. September 2000, that's like when I knew. Because my head was just really, it was like it could be anything, I was a little bit lost. Now, for the September 2011, this bus station, Omnitrans, and Riverside Transit Agent. Now, I will explain in a different video how my behavior, I was going places that were very far away, and it, could look like a mental disorder, what I was doing, and that it looks abnormal. And I will get into a separate video why that occurred and what went on. It was a bad idea. My bus trip was a really bad idea, but at the same time, I learned that it was government. But then again, I could have figured, even without this particular bus situation, I could have learned that I don't need to go on the bus and it was government. How I knew was the hospital involvement and the code terms and the fact they were participating. I mean, the fact that they'll follow you counties, that's something I didn't know. And it's like these random, because you would think they would just stick with their territory, but no, they're willing to expand. Then again, it's not that far away. It's a drive 30, 40 minutes away. Anyone could do that. But these people are a bit expansive. The amount of people that they'll get involved, it kind of shows you to the, degree that they want to get rid of you or how bad they want to hurt you is to where they're willing to do it. The bus drivers, it was like, First of all, the pedophilia rumor had not began with a particular original source. So during the time Omnitrans harassed me, there's no child in the picture. What you need to understand about Omnitrans, there's no child identification. There's no particular person claiming to be the real victim of abuse. They're just getting somebody, which I believe is probably a police officer or military member or something, that's creating this rumor, or somebody of some powerful authority, which I don't know. So originally, they didn't know, right, who the source, they probably knew the source, I don't know. The bus, they would do, the reason I love to use this, it was a lot of bus drivers, most of the bus drivers are Hispanic, and they kept doing the stank eye with me, you know, where they just stare backwards, meaning from the corner of their eyes while they're on the bus. And it's really creepy because in my life I've never had anyone do that to me. So you'd be like, well, is it because you're farting or you're doing something abnormal? Like I said, for that, you know, if I was doing something weird, I would mention it. And there have been places where we could say I'm behaving a little odd, where they, you know, but this particular on the bus, well, I think it had to do with other reasons, in my opinion. But anyways, back to the bus drivers. And it's not a highly educated position anyways. Bus driving was like a 1-year class or something, like 6 months. Anyway, everybody knows how to drive, so it's not really a hard class. Then it's a big little thing, but whatever. It's not a hard job. What I would say with the bus, they were mean. They had occasionally they would use bad words, and not always, but they would say like random code. The other one they used to do. This is where the police is involved somehow with the bus, because it sounds crazy, but we'll get to this. You'd be like, well, did they put down in your records that you're a crazy person or you're a mental person? Technically, my bus driver should not know my mental health history since I haven't told them, but because of the bus, they kept doing the stank eye with, they keep staring at billboards and they stare back at you. They'll stare at an object and they stare back at you. They, again, if they sometimes use profanity, but not always. Insults, not always. Most of the time it's just the stank eye. Besides the hearing it, like, the other one they did was for the movies. Like, there was this one movie, because this is where the police, actually I should have a separate video on the police one. Okay, like, I used to watch movies, I used to do Netflix, and so I used to put my videos in a particular box office or post office. I didn't go to the post office, there's like the little drop off, you know, you'll find just somewhere in a neighborhood or something to drop it off. And there was this one area, I don't know if I'll disclose the city or whatever, I'll probably make another video when I'm adding the police. This is part of the evidence, the police is how they want me to know that they were watching me to my movie selection. I don't watch Netflix anymore, but then you can do Netflix online. You don't actually have to do the video, but they give you more selection if you get the video. In order to do the video, you have to borrow it in rental, so you have to send it back in the mail. And so I took that option to send it back to the mail. And so they knew every week where I would drop off my video, and they knew it was the video. That's why they're trying to humiliate me, because you know how some people, when you mail to pay the bill. Not everybody does. Nowadays they have an internet credit card to pay your bill for your electric, water, house, whatever, but some people don't have a computer, and if you don't have a computer, you have to go to the mailbox and pay. So that's something important. You go to pay your bill with the mail, right? With mine, it's just entertainment, right? I don't have any responsibilities. The only thing that I'm using the mailbox for is literally for the movies. So they knew my spot, and they keep doing the stank eye, like, right at that spot, meaning, like, when there's that particular, it's not a post office. It is just like a little drop box, just a little box where it's a house. There was only houses. It was not a post office. It was just the little, I don't know what they call it, but the little drop off for the mail, it's near a house. And so the bus drivers knew that was my spot. Same thing with the police department. They would do the stank eye with me as well with that. They would just stare at that box and they would stare. So every time, and it's always near my house. You don't always have to go through that direction to get to the house, but sometimes if you prefer to use that method, you can. And so it's their way to let me know that they look through the mailbox. They were looking through my movie selections. And, you put your hand in the little movie thing and then you can just to see what you're interested in. Example, like if you go on the internet, see what kind of, they like to see what your flavor, what kind of food you like to buy, what kind of clothes you like to wear. Like they just checking your, this is a humiliation tactic. They were doing it, they were trying to make me feel guilty because it's not religious. It's not biblically correct. Just like being fat, it's not supposed to be biblically correct, whatever. Depending on your interpretation, like I have a loose interpretation with that, but whatever, if you want to be like all like hippity type, like want to be nitpicky like that, whatever, it's not biblically correct. So they want to make me feel guilty, and so they just gave me the stank eye with that particular location every single time. The other one they do is the pornography. They didn't do that. Sorry, that's another person. I'm not getting to. There's this, what do you call it? There was this one movie place that we used to go to that they turned into a pornography shop. Basically, it used to be a movie place and then they turned it into, and so they do the stank eye over there, which I have no clue why they do that. But that's not the bus driver. That's other people that are part of the gang stalking. But anyways, the bus drivers, they knew that, which is creepy. And that's creepy. That means I was being watched a few years before. The movie stuff, that was in like 2009, 2010. So that means that they're like trying to highlight that they were watching me, which is creepy. I do think that they saw my film selections, though. I do think that they, either through badge, a post office, or something. I believe that they did. Now, the bus drivers, I don't know, but somebody told them. You gotta think about that. Are these bus drivers stalkers? Is this bus driver involved in Neighborhood Watch? Is this bus driver a police officer? He's probably not a police officer. Neighborhood Watch, anyone can be involved in Neighborhood Watch. Anyone. Minimum wage worker. I'm not sure illegal immigrant or not, like you have to be a legal citizen or not, but like anyone. Literally, there's no rule. You have to have no criminal record. Though not always, it depends on the severity of it. They don't do anything. They watch people and they don't get paid, it's volunteer. So that is a possible, what I was thinking, some of these little bus drivers could possibly be involved in Neighborhood Watch. I'm not sure, but it was weird how somebody has been following me and they're telling people and they're doing it to embarrass me, I guess, to show like lack of religiosity, that I'm not close to religion, or just as a humiliation time. Why would they spend time giving me a stank eye every single time I'm at that spot? Like every time we're at that spot, they just spend time just at that particular, when they drive by, because there's a stop section. You have to stop and then you have to let the other cars go and all that stuff like that too. But they just give me the stank eye right there. So I feel like that was code for somebody's talking to them. Plus they say bad things. Like they gave me the stank eye. A lot of times when we pass hospitals, or especially psychiatry, 5150 hospital, behavioral health center, they like to give you the stank eye right there, where they'll just stare at that hospital and they'll stare right back at you. They do the nasty eye. I don't like it. The dirty eye, the sneer, the stuff. They like to do that with me a lot. And like I said, they're mostly Mexican or Hispanic. Mostly Mexican. 50% of Hispanics are Mexicans in the United States. Okay, doesn't matter. Yeah, I know for California, it's for sure it's like that, because in Texas, same thing. I don't know about other states, but I know those two states. It doesn't matter what state, they're probably the same way. Now, reasoning, they're not even poor. I just want to highlight, there's more poor Latin American countries. There are actually more poor countries than South America and Central America. There actually are, but the only reason they're here is because their location is right next door. It's just easy access. But I'm not even going to get into that topic. And they're not a poor country, that's all I have to say. Anyways, back to, there's like to give me this stank eye, and, that was really annoying. And just they do a lot of hand signals and stuff like that to get me annoyed, and it's all to make me feel guilty and stuff like that. So that is just they talked about me is what I'm coming to conclusion with. And it was like all the bus drivers they did that. The rear start transmitting is pretty much the same thing. Actually no, because they don't have any locations that I've been to, so they don't have anything to do the stink eye with me, but they just like to do the hand signals or whatever. Yeah, I was gonna say the passengers are not really nice either because of the situation. So I have the same situation with the passenger. No, that's only when I go on the regular bus. Like, because when I go on the access, because that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the access. This whole video has been about the access. The access is the disability bus, and like I said, they're not really supposed to discuss your medical history. They're only supposed to discuss specifically what you've been qualified for. But like I said, I don't trust the system, so they probably have said other things about me. This in and of itself probably doesn't make you feel very trustworthy towards me. For anyone watching this video, you might see this as, I don't know, kind of dangerous to trust someone that's not even deemed as healthy for or in public society or whatever. But yeah, so that's how I felt about the bus. What other ones? I was on it not for mental health related issues. Had nothing to do with my mental health. I just want to add that just for the viewers to understand. What was I gonna say about Stank Guy? Yeah, so was there anything else? Oh, they like to drive the car crooked to annoy me. Then my parents do that too, though. My parents do, because they don't like me. They purposely drive here's an annoying way to drive the car. Is you drive like a drunk driver, where you will drive it side to side, shaking and stuff. It's really they've never they can lose their job or do something stupid like that. So no, they have not really done that, but I feel like sometimes there were some I felt that kind of did that. But not really. I don't want to critique their driving and that I might get in trouble for that. I'm just trying to be about their behavioral issue. Now the video only shows the passengers. The video does not show them. Sometimes if they have rude things to say, it was just whispered and stuff like that. So what was I going to say? Just it's better to drive your own car in life. It's pretty much all I have to say. What was I going to say about this? What was I going to say about the stink eye? Or drive exit? I don't know if I'm finished with this video or if I should add about buses. I'm just critiquing the service. I might do one video on US Bank of Brilliance as well. Doing me some attitude. It was just horrible because even when I went to my therapy appointments this is a disabled bus, so that's how mean they are. Even when I'm going to my therapy appointments, they're harassing me and insulting me the process to the appointment and stuff. So, and it was just, they don't want me to get help. They knew it was therapy because they give you the address. You have to give them the address. But unlike a regular bus, you get to go, you get stopped and then you have to go wherever you want. So they won't know exactly where you're going. Though sometimes if you dropped off at a shopping center, then they would figure you might be going there. But not always. Sometimes you could be going to a hospital appointment or something on the way. It was just right next to each other. But the point is with the disability bus thing, they know exactly. The creepy part is when I went to San Diego for the lawyer, the San Diego disability bus stuff were harassing me too. And that was where I said the county, moving county, and how this community is connected. I'm being harassed even 2 hour. You know how San Diego is about almost 3 hours, depending how far you want to go into it. If you want to go to the edge, if you go to northern, then it might be about 2 hours. But the middle is 2.5 hours, almost 3 hours. If you get towards the edge near the border of California, or near the Mexico Tijuana area, it's almost 3 hours to get down there. So I was more on the edge. We ended up going kind of more on the edge, and so the trip took longer. But that's totally different. they were like, they were, yeah, that's how I feel like that these people have talked about me, to where, oh, and when I'm making my appointment, they'll sometimes give me attitude over the phone and make me late for some appointments and stuff like that. There were hospital appointments they would make me late for and things, or stuff like that. There were some other. Anyways, yeah, so the bus drivers are involved somehow, because how would they be? I think it was they involved because they transfer information to information, and a lot of them, some of them are volunteers. I don't think they're all hired, because I saw in total, including Riverside, probably over 60 or 40 years. It was just a lot. Like, I always saw different faces, and that's because I think a lot of them are volunteers. I don't know. So, what was I going to say? They harassed me even before child identification, meaning even before the rumor was specified of a particular person. So that's how I know, there was no initial. The pedophilia rumor, they were going to do it to me regardless. They were planning to do it. It was already planned out. They had it planned out. Now, they're not I don't believe they're the orchestrator, in that they don't know me even before that. You gotta go backwards in time, because when you're thinking about this whole slander campaign, you can't just think about who's harassing you now. You have to go way back to make sense, because the person that's harassing you has not identified themselves, right? Because, they're afraid they're going to kill them, or not kill them, but they're not afraid of you. I don't know. I'm not sure. It's just better for them, for you not to know. I don't know. You got to go backwards in time. When you're trying to identify the person that did it to you, you have to look backwards in time, because they were angry from the beginning. They're not angry from the point everybody's harassing you. It's too late. It's already been done. Like, at this point, where, like, everybody's harassing you everywhere you go, that's the ending phase. That's when they won. There's a pre-phase. There's a before. There was a plan, ulterior motive, So you have to go way back. And when you go backwards, it's going to be between 2008 and 2009 when this idea had been formulated. I don't know when. Probably more along 2009, 2010 is when they came up with the idea. And when the plan, they decided to put it out more 2011-ish. So the plan has been made, right? Maybe late 2009, early 2010. Okay, that's when the plan, or to the early 2009s. They had it before. And then, like, now, everybody's participating. Even the people that you see harassing you, example, they may not even be the real people. They may be paid, or they may just cooperate. They may just be the gossipers. They may be the participant. But they're not actual root. Like, there's a root to this situation, and it's not just a bunch of people. There's, when you take out all the people, there's somebody at the very beginning, and this community, they're trying to act like it's just everybody. Everybody's doing this to me. No, it's not everybody. There is a particular group or something. They really they had it out for me from the very beginning. So, anyways, what was I going to say about the orchestration? I don't know. I think pretty much with the bus video. Actually, I should have ended it probably around 20 minutes, and then the extra 10 minutes should have been about my, like, opinions on gangstalking. Because now I'm blurring it to another topic. It all makes sense to me, because it's all up in my head. But for you, it's just a ramble. So, fine. I don't know. Maybe you find it interesting. All right.